Hello, everyone. This is Chala Dinkoy, CEO and founder of the Repositioning Expert. Welcome to another Tuesday Tea Time with Chala. Here's my trusty tea/protein. It's not really tea. You know that by now. I am in the snowbound Ottawa. I'm here for some family emergency. My sister broke her foot, her ankle. So I'm here being her gopher, being her other leg. And it is a snowstorm. So I've actually heard that a lot of people are stuck at home in a snowstorm. And a client of mine is in Little Rock, Arkansas, and he said they were stuck at home in a snowstorm. So it is snowing, and I'm going to have to go and drive to the gym in a few. So best make this quick. First of all, I want to, before I forget, invite you all to next week on Tuesday on the 23rd. I'm going to be doing another session of the one-liner marketing masterclass. It was a huge success last year. And this year we're repeating it again. In fact, we were going to incorporate some new messaging and 2024 related messaging, but the messages from last year are doing so well. This whole concept of simplifying your messaging is so relevant online and offline, 2023 and 2024 alike, that people are just responding even more than they did in December. So I'm very grateful. If you're interested in signing up, please go to, it's free. It's 90 minutes and it's 2 days. One is a bonus day. So it's on the 23rd and 24th of January. It's at 1 p.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. Pacific. And you can go to repositioner.com/one-liner to sign up. Okay. What are we talking about? What buyers want in 2024? This is always what I do at the beginning of the year. It's all based on research. It's all anybody wants to hear, really, like, what are some of the trends? What are the buyers' trends? What are the buyers doing, and what do they want in this year? It's the most popular blog and topic of every year that I do. And in fact, last time I did it, I got a keynote speaking out of it. So can't go wrong. So this is what people want to know. And for those of you who don't know my work, I'm mostly speaking about B2B buyers. Okay. So the first thing that I want to tell you is 96% of buyers do their own research before ever reaching out to a human sales rep. What does that mean? Is you have to up your content game. They're going to be looking at videos. They're going to be looking at articles. They're going to be looking at your profile. They're going to be looking at your website. They're going to be looking at anything and everything that has to do with you to make sure that you're trustworthy, that you're an expert in what you say, that you actually, in fact, do target them, and that you are a big enough company to be of the same size that they need and to trust. So what does that mean? Content has never been more important than now. Now, the first question that I ask is, of course, I work with companies that are $1 to $10 million in size. So my first question to you is, do you even have any content? Do you have content that's targeted? Do you have content that is strategic? So that means, have you figured out strategically who your target is, and strategically what their pain point is and or are? Is your messaging and your content delivering on that pain? Is it relevant to your target, or is it generic? Is it in the target's language, or is it in your language? Is it consistent, meaning you just fired off, 1 month and then you're silent for the rest of the year? Or is it consistent messaging across different marketing mix areas? So like you're actually saying the same thing in your elevator pitch as is on your website, as is in your social media, as is on your ads, as is on your keynote topics or your blog topics or white papers. Is there consistency? And then is their content findable in their world? Can your target's ears and eyes see your content consistently over and over and over again within a small period of time, so that they get the idea that you own the space of their pain in their industry, and that you're there to stay, and that you're someone to be reckoned with, and that what you're saying has not changed over time, that you truly do own this niche. And of course, the biggest question is, does this content convert? Because if it's not converting, there's a whole other question. What is off about the content? Is it the medium? Is it the message? And what about the message? Is it the target? Is it the pain? Is it the way that you convey the pain? Is it that you're not even using their words, but you're using yours? So those are some of the things that you have to really look at, because as I said, remember, 96%, that's almost 100% of prospects do all of their own research, and the buying journey, this especially changed after COVID, is mostly in their hands, and mostly they do not want a human contact until they're ready to engage, interact, and buy. And by then, sadly, most of the decision has been made, and the amount of input that an actual human salesperson could put to swaying them is way reduced than before COVID. So, and I think that's because everybody had to make their own decisions. All the sales reps were, at home. Nobody could touch each other. Nobody could see each other. And buyers were then forced to educate themselves on products and services that they needed to buy. And then, of course, vendors became more sophisticated. And if you're one of them, you have to produce the right amount of content and the right kind of content, and then put them in front of the right eyes and right ears so that you are in their consideration set. Okay. Number two things that buyers want, that the trends in buyers in 2024, is that 60% of customers say no 4 times before saying yes. Now, I don't know that that's changed. It's probably gotten higher no's. It's getting harder. And one of the reasons, and I've talked about this before, is that in buying trends, especially B2B, that there is just no longer one buyer, it's a committee. And that's why there's more heads saying no. It's harder to come to consensus with a larger buying team, larger size of buying team, and there's less trust, because there's a lot more people who are there that you have to convince. So what does this mean? That they say no 4 times before they say a yes is, of course, follow up. Do you have a follow-up strategy? What does it look like? Is there a funnel of a follow-up? Meaning, do you have steps? When do you do it? Who do you do it with? Do you do it with one person in that buying committee? Do you do it with all of them? Can you do multiple touch? Can you do multiple channel? Are you hitting them with the consistent message? And is the message based on their pain, solution, and positions you as an expert? Does it give value? Does the follow-up give value? And I've done a whole, education on the follow-up. Is it like, hey, I'm just following up on you? That is like the most hated word in sales. Is like, I'm using it now, but don't use it with them to say, hey, I'm just calling to follow up with you. No. Every interaction has to be another value add. So for example, when my clients and I are doing a funnel for a follow-up, what we do is we actually plan content as if we're going to plan a social media content. We literally take what is the topic, and what is the title of the topic, and what is the actual vehicle that we're going to deliver to hit them at different time intervals to be able to keep on top of their top of mind. So I'll give you an example is one client, she went and met her target clients at a trade show. Then she's following up with a video. Another way that she's following up is she's created an infographic PDF, but these are all pain points around the same topic. So it's different facets of the same pain point, but making different communication pieces around that. Another one we did, she's doing a Loom video. That's where you're recording. And then that's why, I'll be right there. I'm recording. Oh, you got to see my mom. So yeah, that's what I want for you, is for you to have a whole lineup of different ways of addressing their pain and to add value. Okay. All right. So stop calling and saying, hey, I'm just calling to follow up. Number three is 66% of buyers prefer the first contact to be email. And that's from a stat from LinkedIn. That's the source. And so what's interesting is that 70% of sellers stop emailing after the first one. So if 66% of buyers are, want email, but most people stop after the first email, what does that tell you? One, email is still working because if 66% want the first contact to be email, especially in the B2B world. But two, what does it say if they stop at the first email, right? So one, it means that the email has to be super, super, super effective at converting, which nobody has that kind of time to focus on just one. I'm, promoting the one-liner marketing, and I'm literally sending an email every 2 days. And not only that, but it's multi-purpose, right? I'm sending DMs through LinkedIn. I'm sending DMs through mass sending messages through all my social media. Plus, I'm producing daily videos on top of all my regular stuff, like the Tuesday Tea Time. So it's like layer on top of layer on top of layer. So, but getting back to the first email that they prefer, it has to be short and it has to have paid messaging. This is why I think the one-liner marketing masterclass is so popular, because people are looking for that one-liner. How do we just take everything that we're trying to say and conduce it or digest it down into just one little tiny thing to be able to shoot over and to make this huge effect that people are going to want to meet with us. They're going to say, oh my God, these people understand my problem. They can help us and they're the experts. And then don't forget that once you send that first email, do not quit. You have to have this follow-up strategy that I'm talking about, that whole funnel, that flow. Loom videos. I love Loom videos. I make them. I have my clients make them. It's this video that you create and that, on your computer, it's very short, quick hits. And then you just literally copy and paste the URL that Loom video has, and you can copy and paste it into your emails. You can copy and paste it into your LinkedIn. And LinkedIn now actually has features where you can actually record like live videos and sound, like voicemail. So that's really interesting. So try to do things in a different way than normally you do, and also complement the email with all these different ways and include them in your follow-up strategy. The some of the other intelligence around emailing prospects is optimal wait is between 2 to 5 days for follow-up. So from the first one, please don't stop at the first, like 90% or 70% don't stop at the first email, but wait 2 to 5 days. And then optimal follow-up is 2 emails. So you don't have to go crazy, but it's 2 emails. Number 4 of what's happening in the buyer's world in 2024 and what they want is by 2025, 80% of B2B sales interactions with the buyer are going to be digital. So it's either going to be through social media, on Zoom, on Teams, whatever other buying platforms there are. So what does that tell me? What does that tell you? That everything that you have, all your identity, your profile, your company, website, everything has to be optimized. Your content has to be optimized. You have to have a very specific target group, because otherwise you're not going to find them online. It is an infinite amount of people and information out there. Unless you're clear about who your strategic target is, you're not going to be able to find them. And you're just going to waste a lot of time and money just trying to pursue everybody else. Because if you're online, but none of what you're saying is targeted, nobody can find you. No AI can find you. No SEO can find you. No customer can find you. And then when they do find you, let's say they meet you and you get in front of them, or you send a great email, when they're looking you up, it's not going to make any sense to them. And that's happened so many times that they actually get in front of a buyer, a client gets in front of a buyer, and they haven't done the consistency work. So when they go, the client or the prospect looks at the client's, website, they're like, well, this is not what you told us you did. And I don't understand how you specialize in our industry. I don't understand how you can help us. So you don't want that to boomerang on you. And, So your activity online is going to be way more important. The DM messaging we talked about, Loom, and then of course the LinkedIn voice and video. So all your transactions are going to be online anyway. So why not enrich that experience for your prospects and try to get, on top of it if you've been neglecting it. Because it's what I'm trying to tell you is it's not a nice to have anymore. It's going to be, especially by next year, by, what it's saying is that people are 80%, that's like almost every B2B buyer is going to be doing their interactions with their sellers online. Okay. And then lastly, of course, is humanizing AI. AI is the huge topic, is the topic at every conference I go to, is the topic of every, new webinar, seminar, whatever you want, article, blog, everybody is specializing in AI. And a lot of people are using it. I'm using it myself very, intelligently. So what do buyers want and what can you do? So what buyers want is for you to humanize the AI. Stop cranking out generic stuff, because if you don't humanize the AI, it's very generic. It sounds generic. It doesn't sound like you. It just sounds like, because that's what it is. It just takes a whole bunch of mishmash of different articles and makes up its own, but it doesn't have your authority. It doesn't have your experience. It doesn't have your brand voice. So here's some ones that I use and that I humanize. So for example, Chat GPT, I pretty much use for everything, but I completely rewrite it on my own. So I use it for, topics, I use it for stats, and I use it to couple those. It does all my research way faster than I would have on my own, because normally I would have gone and read all, topics, all the research. I would have Googled it myself, but now all I have to do is just type it and it comes out in literally seconds. And that's true for all my social media posts. It's true for these, the titles on these. It's true for my everything, for my video topics. It's true for everything that I do in my content. Now, and my emails. So I completely rewrite it with my own personality, because it's very, outspoken. I've got a lot of experience. I've got a lot of things to say. And also then I take it. I'm still not done. I will come where you're on live camera. I'm going to give her a lift back. So she's very impatient. I told you I was in Ottawa. Okay. So, yeah. And I now add my face. So I put video, like I'm out there with video. And what's fascinating is, for those of you who hate video, they now have AI avatars that could do your videos for you. They do complete sales training videos without humans. So there's such huge implications for marketing companies to be completely, out of the picture. It's very scary. Now, the one thing that I don't think is going to be able to do, and maybe it will, but who knows? I haven't seen it yet, is the actual strategy of who to target and what their problem is, and then to be able to interface with actual clients and prospects, and to be able to talk to them as a human being, to be able to establish that relationship. I still don't think AI can take over that. And I also have ownership of, my face, people seeing my face and associating it to the expertise in my business. So that's one thing that I can offer. Otter.ai, I've run into this in almost every Zoom meeting that I'm doing. It's a note taker, and it's fabulous. So for example, one of my clients, we do a team meeting where she doesn't attend, but her team does, and I train them. She and I are able to look at that and talk over that together. And she's able to, give me feedback, or, ask me to cover something else, or see what was covered before. So that really works really well. So that's, humanizing it. I'm not just sending it to her. I'm going over it with her. Another way to humanize your AI is the other AI tools that I use is Descript, which is transcribing the audio. So let's say this, I can transcribe it. So basically it's to repurpose content, and that takes so much weight off of you and your team to be able to do these things. But again, please humanize them. Please give it your own taste, your own voice, your own face, whatever you can do. And then Gloss AI is something I've just tried, and it literally takes this video, for example, and pulls and content and makes little videos, podcasts, webinars, You can do anything you want with just, uploading one video, and it'll just cut it up into lots of small little repurposable pieces, which is fabulous, right? Again, you have to make sure that it's the right thing. You have to make sure that it's your face. Um, all of those things, I think, humanize AI. And I think increasingly humans are going to, like, being human and having that human interaction is going to increase in importance because of how rare it's going to become. Because I have so many clients who'd rather die than speak to a camera like I'm doing. And how amazing is it for them that they can have some content now because there's somebody else's AI face that can do it. But I still maintain that it's so important for you to be the face of your business and be the brand for your business. So I hope that's helpful. Going to remind you to join me on, January 23rd and 24th for the one-liner marketing. And I think I'm done now. I can open the door. I don't know if she's waiting there. We'll see you next week, everyone. Take care.